Hey everyone, day 37 of 100 Days of Thankfulness. Today we're talking about the importance of the words we speak, and also I want to talk about why I'm so thankful for Francis Martin, who is the author of Hung by the Tongue. So I apologize, I'm kind of caught in the rain right now, and so there's going to be a lot of noise, but I'll just try to speak closer so that you can all hear me. Related to the importance of the words that we speak, yesterday I was talking about the importance of marriage, and one of the things with marriage is this idea that you see in the movies where it's a romantic comedy or whatever, and in the end it's this happily ever after story. Well, I'm sure for those of you that are married realize no relationship quite hits this peak and then just stays there forever. There's lots of dips and and peaks, and there's high points and there's low points. And a lot of the reason for that is when you're working on a relationship is not something where you ever want it to just hit some plateau and just stay stagnant. In fact, that's impossible. Pretty much any relationship you have, if you're not continually making deposits, continually working towards it, it's just going to gradually go down over time anyways, and that's definitely not what you want in your marriage. So what happens with, what causes all these high points and low points very much has a lot to do with the effort that we put into, or the lack of effort that we put into our relationship. But it also often, what causes a sharp spike up or a sharp decline, it's caused by the words that we speak. I have a couple more Bible verses here that help illustrate that. And by the way, the book, let me actually just start by talking about the book. The book by Francis Martin, Hung by the Tongue, it's came out 39 years ago, so it's kind of an older book. But the reason I really love this book by Francis Martin is it brings the concept of the words that we speak and the importance of the words that we speak, and it relates it to various Bible verses. So the whole book is almost centered around these Bible verses that talk about the power of the tongue. And really it's similar to this concept of what you say is what you get. And I realize there's this kind of name it, claim it concept that's sort of a false idea that's going on out there, that whatever you speak can become reality. God doesn't always work that way, but certainly there's some truth to the idea that if I were, for example, to just every day complain about some aspect that I'm not happy with about myself, and I just focus on that and I dwell on that, that negativity will come out in my life in so many different ways. Whereas if I focus more on the positive aspects, or even if I do, look at it from the perspective on, this is something I want to change about myself, so I'm going to choose words that talk about that change or how I'm going to get better, that sort of thing. So the Bible verses are right here. So this is from James 3, verses 4 and 5. Look at the ships also, though they are so great and are driven by strong winds, are still directed by a very small rudder, wherever the inclination of the pilot desires. So also the tongue is a small part of the body, and yet it boasts of great things. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark. And so, that whole idea of a forest fire being started by a small spark, that happens in marriages, unfortunately. And a lot of times that's simply because, we have something in our heart that we want to say, and that passes through the brain, before we speak it. But sometimes, it comes out, it gets blurted out, and it, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but sometimes it comes out the wrong way. And often when I go to try to correct, to say, no, that's not what I meant at all, and then I say it a completely different way, and then I just make it even worse. So we do need to think about the words that we choose, but at the same time, it's important for us to choose words and speak truth and speak life and try to say it in a positive way in your relationship. This is something that I believe in, but that's not to say I'm an expert at it by any means. This is something that I struggle with all the time, but really what I'm trying to do with that is I'm trying to use my words in order to reach a higher point in my relationship with Karen than I've ever reached before. For me, it's not enough just to, reach a point and say, okay, we're good now, because, that's not possible. But really what I want to do is I want to, continue to grow in my relationship with Karen. We've been married 21 years. It's not enough for me to just say, okay, all the good years are behind us now. I want to keep shooting for something that's even better, and for me what better is we understand each other better. We can support each other better, and that's going to be a continual thing that I have to work on. And probably the main area that I need the most focus on is in this area of the words that I choose. I need to make sure that I'm always speaking what I mean to be speaking, which is I love you, I support you. But it can't just be those simple words. I need to show her that through my actions as well as what I'm saying. But I need to be really careful about the words that I speak. The other Bible verse is in Proverbs 18:19 through 21. A brother wronged is more unyielding than a fortified city. Disputes are like barred gates of a citadel. From the fruit of their mouth, a person's stomach is filled. With the harvest of their lips, they are satisfied. So when I read that part, the first verse about disputes are like barred gates of a citadel, often in the heat of an argument or, we're angry, we say things that we really didn't mean to say at all, but now we've just, shut the gates on that relationship and we can't break through it. So you need to be very careful that you don't say something that you'll regret later. But then the next thing, from the fruit of the mouth, a person's stomach is filled. With the harvest of their lips, they are satisfied. To me, I think of, that's a perfect example for a job interview, right? The words that we choose during a job interview is what gets us the job, and that gets us the income, and the income then, is how we fill our stomach, because we can buy food for it. So that's definitely true as well. And then the last part, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So, really, life or death. So we can choose words that speak life, or we can choose words that speak death. They can speak life to a relationship. They can speak life to an opportunity. So the point is really choose life, in everything that you say. What we speak can bring on failure or it can bring on victory in our life. That's about it on the importance of the words we speak. I just want to say thanks once more to Francis Martin.